In 2018, Tudor won over Rolex at Baselworld by expanding its Black Bay line and introducing the GMT that establishes local time without losing sight of your home time. This watch offering the traveller a much more affordable alternative to the Rolex GMT Master 2, also released in 2018. In this video we'll look at my Tudor Black Bay GMT. We're going to look at the full unboxing, the satisfaction of watching me peel back the stickers from this new watch, how the watch wears, and look at the details and history behind the Black Bay GMT. Not forgetting the controversial date issue. We'll also compare it to some of the other watches I have in my collection. I'm Andy and welcome to the English Watch. If you like this video, please give it the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe and make sure you leave some comments at the end. Tudor introduced the Heritage Black Bay line in 2012 using a subtle blend of traditional aesthetics and modern watchmaking. Not an identical re-release of a classic, Tudor brings together over 60 years of divers watch heritage. And whilst neo-vintage in look with aluminium bezels and gilt lume plots, its manufacturing techniques, reliability and robustness and quality of finish are consistent with today's standards and what we've come to expect from the Rolex sub-brand. Tudor updated the Black Bay in 2016, introducing in-house movements, and that had an adverse effect on case thickness with the loss of the smiley face text and replacement of the Tudor Rose logo with the new shield. Since 2018, Tudor have released a number of new models, so the GMT is no longer the new kid on the block. Looking into the range, this watch comes on a steel bracelet, a brown leather strap, and one of Tudor's NATO fabric straps. As usual, it is more desirable to buy this watch on the steel bracelet, but I find that with the vintage looks, the brown leather strap is far more suitable. I bought this watch on the steel bracelet, but did then go back and buy the genuine Tudor leather strap. And you can check out one of my previous videos where I show the watch on both the steel and leather straps, plus also a Crafter Blue rubber strap. Moving on to the unboxing, well, this footage was shot just after I bought the watch in April 2019. Here we have the traditional Rolex style outer white sleeve. Inside we reveal a nicely protected black box with the Tudor shield on the lid. Now this box has got a nice wooden grain to the base and a smooth vinyl wrap lid. Then with a nice snappy action we open the box to reveal the Tudor Black Bay GMT. This watch is 41mm in diameter with a case thickness of about 15mm. Lug to lug is nice and compact at 50mm, and overall it has 200 meters of waterproofness. This is after all a dive watch. A quick look round the watch, you can see all the factory seal still in place, and then looking inside the nice felt lined compartment at the back, we see the 3 spare links as removed by the authorised dealer to fit my 6 3/4 inch wrist. We have the plastic hang tag with the model reference and price paid. This watch originally came with a 2-year warranty. Tudor have now extended this by 18 months. In fact, they've done that for any watch bought after the 1st of July 2018. And since the beginning of 2020, all watches now come with a 5-year guarantee. The GMT function can be quite a mystery to the uninitiated, so Tudor have included this handy instruction manual to take you through the steps on how to set your home time and your destination time. Then finally in the box we have the guarantee card, and this is your proof of guarantee and will need to be produced in case you need any warranty work done on your watch. And now for the most satisfying part, removing the stickers. Firstly remove the case flank stickers, this one on the long side having the barcode. And then the 2 pieces either side of the crown. These are quite easy to remove with nice little pull tabs to help you. If you want to skip this section, please use the timestamps in the description. Opening up the clasp, We have a few stickers just to protect the polished edges in the latch, and these are a bit more tricky to remove, requiring a sharp nail just to get under the blue tape. Now onto the case back. Now this was far more difficult to remove than I anticipated, and I did split the seal when it came off. Now you can hear that the bracelet is a little bit squeaky, and this is where the two levers of the deployment clasp meet, and this required a little bit of easement with some hot soapy water, and the squeaking was gone very quickly. I hear this is quite a common complaint. On the wrist, this watch wears quite compact with its 50mm lug-to-lug width and 41mm case. It's only the 50mm case thickness that makes it maybe feel a little bit large for some. Overall, this watch wears very nice indeed. The vintage aesthetic gives it a nice classic look and can be worn with any attire, either casual or smart. The GMT is fitted with caliber MT5652. This is an enhancement to the base caliber, adding the red GMT hand that sweeps around every 24 hours. There is a jumping hour for quick on-the-fly adjustment when travelling between time zones, where this action also sets the date, which can be adjusted forwards and backwards. This is a cost certified chronometer movement, so should be good for -4 to +6 seconds per day, with a non-magnetic silicon balance spring. The 70-hour power reserve means it can be taken off on a Friday evening and put back on again on a Monday morning without having to reset and wind it. One chink in the armour of this new movement is the widely reported sticking date issue. Now you don't have to go onto too many forums to find out that other people have also experienced the same issue, and that's where my watch is today, back at the AD being serviced by Rolex to fix this. Now we're not entirely sure what the issue is, whether it's a design flaw, whether it's over application of lubricants, but when mine returns I'll report back and let you know what they said, because that isn't great. But you shouldn't allow this issue to ruin your overall enjoyment of this watch. Now I understand that some people have had their watches back multiple times, but like my Planet Ocean, that has also been back for warranty work. These things do happen. Now it does appear to be quite a common issue with the Black Bay GMT. It'd be nice to think that Tudor has sorted it out and that customers will be treated fairly, as this is after all still an expensive watch. Looking at the dial, the GMT is no different to the other Black Bays in the range, with the snowflake hands and in this instance the addition of the red GMT hand, also with the snowflake. Additionally, the GMT text replaces what would otherwise be the waterproof rating, and the addition of the date window, breaking up the overall symmetry of the dial. Comparing it with the other similarly sized Black Bays in the range, it has more in common with the blue bezeled version with silver dials and lume plots, as opposed to the red bezeled version that has the gilt finish and a slightly warmer looking dial. And for me, well, I didn't want fake lume, but maybe I wanted the lume plots to be a little bit bigger. I think on this watch they're a little bit too small. I think there's a bit too much space between each of the indices. A third time zone can be tracked with the 48-notch bidirectional bezel with a 24-hour graduated and anodised aluminium disc. The 12 daylight hours are printed on the burgundy section and the nighttime hours on the blue. The bracelet is inspired by the folding riveted bracelets of the Tudor watches produced in the 1950s and 1960s. These were famous for having visible rivet heads that attached the links. The solid links are all secured with threaded pins. The deployment clasp has a little flip-up safety latch, which is secured by two ceramic ball pushers. The latch isn't as easily opened as it is in a Rolex, as this is a friction latch without moving parts. However, the clasp itself is quite well made, with solid polished levers. One of the downsides, and to be expected at this price range, is no on-the-fly adjustment for the clasp, so a tool is required to adjust between the three positions. The case pack isn't quite as barren as a typical Rolex, with Tudor branding running around the circumference. The taper on the bracelet is very un-Rolex-like, starting at 22mm and going down to about 20mm at the clasp. So how does this watch compare with some of the other watches in my collection? Well, firstly we've got the Speedmaster Professional with its 42mm case diameter and very similar case height of 14.5mm. These watches are very close in their absolute dimensions. But I do find that the Speedmaster wears more compact on the wrist than its overall dimension suggests, with the vintage split case design of the Speedmaster maybe hiding some of the overall bulk that the Tudor struggles to hide. Moving on to the Planet Ocean, here seen on the accessory rubber strap, these watches again are very close in dimensions, with the Planet Ocean just edging it on diameter and a little over on the height. But again, the interest on the case side on the Planet Ocean does break up the overall bulk of the watch. Slipping on the Planet Ocean, we remind ourselves that compact lug-to-lug dimension really does help the wearability of this watch. Looking at these two watches side by side, it's clear that the Planet Ocean is all about that luscious blue dial, while the Tudor Black Bay is more subdued with the red and the blue on the bezel and with the added hardware around the lugs, giving it some visual bulk. So despite the similar dimensions, this watch really did fit into my collection, with the other two similarly sized watches, each with their own distinctive appearance, with the smaller 36mm Speedmaster 120 sadly no longer in the collection. So what's next for the GMT? Well, when it comes back from its warranty work, I'll be putting it up for sale. Not because I don't like the watch especially, but with the Submariner now joining the collection, and with other itches to scratch, I don't find that there's room for 3 dive watches, even though this one has a GMT complication. At the end of the day, this watch can be had now from an authorised dealer without much if any wait at all, so if I do change my mind, I can always go and buy another one. It is after all a great value watch still. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. Please leave any comments and let me know your experiences of owning this watch. I'm Andy, this has been The English Watch, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.